What is up, guys? It is Beck Hikes. Today we are going to do the High Falls waterfall that is right below the Glenville Lake when you're heading towards Cashiers, North Carolina. I came from Cullowhee, North Carolina. The drive itself isn't necessarily long, depending on if you get behind someone that is driving slow. In my case, I didn't, so it took me about maybe 20 minutes to get here, but the hike itself isn't necessarily too long. I think it's only like 1.4 or so round trip, so not a long hike at all. But with it being the winter, and like I say in all my other videos, the Blue Ridge Parkways seems to always be closed due to ice, and the areas, the Great Smokies is fairly open, but those are longer hikes with views that I'm waiting to later on to do. So I'm gonna knock out a few waterfalls in the next few weeks. So I'm also gonna add recorded driving up here, so to make this video a little bit longer, just in case it isn't necessarily a long video. So the driving will make it a little bit better. Coming up here, I like driving a lot because my car is a manual, so, and there's not really sharp curves, but there's a few turns that make you have to, you know, shift gears and stuff. So it's pretty enjoyable for me, at least. But other than that, that's why I wanted to record that part and add it in the video. So we're gonna keep getting on this trail and show off that waterfall. When you are coming from the parking lot, it begins with gravel road, and when you get to this point, you are going to want to maintain this left right here and stay on this route. It will take you to the High Falls waterfall, so that's the route you're going to want to take from when you're starting the trail from the parking lot. We have a fallen tree that happens to not be cut up at the moment, though it does look very doable to get over. I do start hearing more water, so I do believe we are getting fairly close to the waterfall itself. So we're gonna keep on booking it until we get there. For it to be in the mid-30s or so, it doesn't feel bad at all for a January hike. It may have warmed up a little bit, but for when I was looking at the forecast, it wasn't supposed to get above 40s, but the sun is shining a little bit on me. That may be a factor, though. But for a January hike, not bad. We just arrived to the High Falls, below the falls area. It's pretty rocky, as you can see, but there was another waterfall we passed coming up, so I'm gonna go on the way back, showcase that one off. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer to this one and show it off. There's a couple that went past this waterfall up towards the up the mountain, which I'm not going to do that today, but the rocks are pretty slip all the way up. But obviously if you go through the waterfall, it's going to be slicker, and the walk to the close to the edge but not exactly to the edge, so it's pretty high up. Obviously, honestly, a lot better than I first imagined the view would look like. I thought it was just gonna be a waterfall. I didn't really think you could climb up and see a nice view with the waterfall, so I got two of them in one. That's my kind of hike, and you know how I like views, so this is on the list with a view in a waterfall. And you know how I'm not a big waterfall guy, but honestly I might have to. I enjoyed this one. Not a bad hike at all. 2 waterfalls necessarily. Bunch of rock climbing. Really nice views. And there's like 6 dogs here. I love dogs. So if you hear that one dog barking and it's echoing, that's what that sound is. And so if you want to bring your dog, bring them all along. But I'm gonna show another view from the bottom, and then there was another waterfall on the way up. This one's 10 times better, but the other one still did look pretty cool. So I'm gonna show that one on the way back down. So let's head back down to the rocks. I kind of had to parkour my way over these rocks to get a better view of this second waterfall, just because you could easily walk through the water, but it's in January and I don't want to get my feet extremely wet, so I had to do a little parkour.
Parkour! Michael, parkour! Parkour!
Extreme!
Parkour! Parkour!
To get from point A to point B as creatively as possible. So technically they are doing parkour as long as point A is delusion and point B is the hospital.
Camera. Okay, we all go together or we go one at a time.
Here it is, here it is. Truck to refrigerators to dumpster, 360 spin onto the pallets, backflip gainer into the trash can.
Yeah, gainer! Yeah!
Parkour, parkour!
Parkour! Parkour!
I'm right behind you, Andy! Come on!
Do it! Yeah!
Parkour.
So I'm gonna get as about as close as I can in this waterfall and show it off. It's actually a little bit cooler than I thought when I first just walked right by it. So I'm gonna show off the bottom of the waterfall real quick. There is a trail on the opposite side of the river that takes you to, I guess, little steps to get below the waterfall, but I'm gonna get back on the other side just because I don't necessarily know if these two trails connect to one another, and I also don't know how long this one is back. So if you do see this, I'm assuming it takes you back, but just for my precaution, I'm gonna get back on the normal trail across the river and head back to my parking lot. For the trail that I am on, not the opposite trail, when you're coming back from the waterfall or to it, it's gonna be on the right side of the trail. It's pretty noticeable, but just FYI, if you're wanting to stop at this, you're obviously gonna hear it, so that's a helper for that. But we are gonna book it on back to the parking lot. As we are coming up to the High Falls pull-off, I wouldn't really call it a parking lot, but there's a few spots. People had to go past where I parked to park because there's only maybe room for like 4 or 5 cars where I parked. Though overall, the trail itself isn't bad. There was a few trees that were knocked that wasn't cut up yet, and I don't know if that's just because of the recent storms or what, but the trail wasn't really marked either. Though I really never felt like I was gonna get lost on the trail because it's pretty maintained, like I was saying before. There wasn't really too many side trails that kind of get you off guard, and it's a pretty good trail. The view of it's definitely worth it. Like I said, when I was at the waterfall, it kind of changed me a little bit. It was a nice view in a waterfall, but so I would highly recommend this one. I think it might have been longer than 1.4 miles round trip, maybe like 2 miles round trip, but it wasn't bad at all. It's not too steep. The route I took, like I said, that second waterfall had a different trail it looked like, so I don't really know much about that one, but the trail I took isn't bad at all. The view is really nice. The waterfalls are really nice, and if I'm saying the waterfalls are nice, they must be pretty nice, like I said, because I am not a waterfall person, but I really enjoyed this one, so I'd highly recommend this one if you're in the Glenville area. And if you wanted to do this one and then maybe drive 15-20 more minutes, I think do the Whiteside Mountain. That's a view hike, and it's not extremely long, but you could easily do this one and that one if you planned your day right. You wanted to get 2 nice hikes in. This one's if you keep going towards Casters, and that's where the Whiteside is. I may put the description in that video down below, but hopefully you guys enjoy this